Hi everyone, we are back with the new video that is primarily based upon the landmark judgment of not of the Supreme Court but the Privy Council, that is Mirza Akbar versus King Emperor. This particular judgment is related to section 10 of the Indian Evidence Act. So before getting into this particular judgment, let us have a look at section 10 of the Evidence Act. If you have Bare Act, please do open it, else I will be opening on my screen. Let us start the discussion. Where there is reasonable ground to believe that two or more persons have conspired together to commit an offense or actionable wrong. So relevancy under section 10. Relevancy under section 10 is not limited to the offenses but also to the actionable wrong. Means if there is any criminal liability, that would be relevant under section 10, as well as any civil liability will also be relevant under section 10. You must appreciate that if A and B together commit an offense against C, so anything said, done, or written by A and B would be relevant under section 10. And on the similar line, if A and B enter into a contract with C with the intention to deceive C or to commit any kind of fraud upon C, and anything said, done, or written by A and B would also be relevant under section 10. So, section 10, the relevancy under section 10 is not limited to the criminal liabilities but also to the civil liabilities. Now, let us move further. Anything said, done, or written by anything said, done, or written by any one of such person in reference to the common intention. So they are saying that anything said, done, or written by any one such person. So it meaning thereby, if A has written something or said something or done something, that itself will be a relevant fact. Let's suppose A wrote a letter to D that he want knife. Let's suppose he want knife and he wrote a letter to D कि मुझे knife चाहिए. तो वो जो लेटर है that is relevant under section 10, that will be relevant not only against C, oh sorry, that would not only be relevant against A, that would be relevant against B also. So they are trying to construct the liability of A upon B. Whatsoever is done by A, it deemed that it is done by B also. So they are trying to create a constructive liability. So they are trying to give broad connotation to section 10 by using the word anything. Means anything and everything said, done, or written by any one such person would be relevant. So do you think that कि कुछ भी A ने किया या B ने किया वो सब कुछ relevant हो जाएगा? Let's suppose A कहता है कि मैं चल चाय पीने चलते हैं. Would it be relevant under section 10? No. The word anything is limited by word the common intention. The word anything has been restricted by word common intention. So anything said or done in reference to common intention would only be relevant. Means in order to further that particular intention which they actually have, or in order to achieve their objective, or in order to achieve their aim, anything said, done, or written, that would only be relevant and nothing other. So the word anything here is restricted by word common intention. The word anything is limited by word in reference to the common intention. So let us discuss this particular case now. Mirza Akbar versus King Emperor. This was decided by Privy Council. So in this particular case, there was one A who was married to M, and their marriage was not going in a perfect manner because M has a extramarital affair with some M1, and A was an obstruction between their love. So one fine day, M and M1 conspired together to do away with the obstruction. That was A, to punish them to kill A. So they conspired together. There was certain love letter between M and M1. There were three love letter between M and M1. M wrote two letters to M1 and M1 wrote one letter to M. So they both hired a goon named U a contract killer. इन्होंने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किलर हायर किया एम और M1 ने टू किल ए. ओके. Thereafter, on one fine day, A was going somewhere, and in between, Q has seen A and tries to shoot A. Q ने कोशिश करी A पे गोली चलाने के लिए और he was successful. He shot at A and thereafter he started running away along with the pistol. See nearby, the stand buyers has seen him shooting and therefore they start following you. Due to that, U was caught in between. U ने A पे गोली चलाई और उसके बाद भागने लग गया. जो आसपास लोग खड़े थे उन्होंने यू का पीछा किया और यू को पकड़ लिया एंड यू वाज कॉट ऑन द स्पॉट. एट दैट वेरी मोमेंट, जब यू को पकड़ा गया वैसे ही एम आ गया उधर, M1 आ गया सॉरी उधर, और वो बोलने लगा कि यू जो है वो इनोसेंट है, उसने कुछ नहीं किया, तो कोई मोटिव नहीं है, उसको प्लीज छोड़ दो. तो हिज कंडक्ट वाज यू इज इनोसेंट प्लस नो मोटिव. प्लीज लीव हिम. ना उसका कोई मोटिव है और वो इनोसेंट है, प्लीज उसको छोड़ दिया जाए. ये बात एम बोल रहा है. तो ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दिस स्टेटमेंट एम को अरेस्ट कर लिया, M1 को अरेस्ट कर लिया और यू को भी अरेस्ट कर लिया. बिकॉज दिस स्टेटमेंट वॉज शोइंग दैट कि इन्होंने M1 ने उस बंदे को हायर किया है और उसको मारने का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दिया था ए को. ओके. नाउ M plus U plus M1 was arrested. Here M was the wife of A, U was a contract killer, and M1 was lover of M. So after the incident has took place, M1 made a confession कि हाँ हमने मारा है उसको, A को हमने मारा है. Okay. So they were trying to make this particular confession relevant. The prosecution was trying to make this confession which was made by M to be relevant under section 10 of Indian Evidence Act. He has confessed that कि उन्होंने offense commit किया है. So now tell me whether this particular statement means this particular confession would be relevant under section 10. Section 10 uses the word anything said, done or written in reference to the common intention. Anything said, done or written in reference to the common intention will be relevant. So she has confessed. So it is, confession is a statement itself. So any statement, anything said, done or written. So confession, she has stated something. So she has said something, and that is also in reference to the common intention. So according to the language of the section, it must be relevant. But here the court held that here the common intention should be existing common intention. That the common intention should be existed at the time when the statement has been made. But the very moment you killed A, the common intention has been ended. And now it cannot be said that common intention is existing still now. So in order to make the statement or anything written or anything done to be relevant under section 10, the common intention should be in existence. But in this particular case, the common intention has been ended. So the confession made by M would not be relevant in this particular section. The very moment the offense is committed, the very moment their aim or object is achieved, the common intention comes to an end. and thereafter anything said, done, or written would not be relevant under section 10 of the Indian Evidence Act. So this particular judgment is related to the construction of the common intention. So they have clearly said that it should be in existence. So hope you have understood. I hope you like this particular video. If you like this particular video, please do like, please do share, please do comment. Thank you so much.